Yeah, and you know, in the glass shop, I'm not sure the best way to get crispy rice, so I asked Chris if he'd help me. Crispify the rice.
He's pretty helpful. Jeez.
I think it's done. You can pull the glass out.
Look at the way it's pouring out through the bottom. That is crispy. Can you hear it through the microphone?
Smells pretty tasty too.
It is.
Now that's some crispy fried rice.
Oh, man.
And look at the little handle, still survived.
No oil necessary.
Crispy
I wonder
rice.
if sweet and sour would be more flammable.
Welcome to the show, everyone. You are on the Gathering Point, where we use hot glass to do weird things. But the reality is we're going to be blowing glass tonight. We just thought we'd crispify some rice for your dining pleasure.
That's all rice, just cooking it up in there.
All right, meanwhile, we got Jacob in the house. He's in the dark blue shirt through the clouds. Chris is going to take away the crispy rice.
I don't know if that can go in the recycle bucket, unfortunately.
We got Bess in the house.
Wow.
Lucy's hiding out there. We got Roland in the house. Yeah, baby!
Yeah.
Next week, Roland's got some amazing things. We tried to do it tonight. We were shy. One cord, because we had some action plan in place. Just couldn't get the electronics to hook up. Unlike when we built our studio, we are not next to an electronics store,
Dad, could you throw out some size 0 white?
so you can't just run and get the supplies you need.
So we're going to get started tonight with this show that is the first piece.
302.
This is the members piece, and it's going to be a specialty edition product in theme with what we have on our virtual gallery tonight, a Glass Academy original product, a slime-filled item. That's it, folks. It is the GA Snail. Birthed in Dearborn, Michigan. We've been making these for about 3 years now. And in addition to tonight's show, we're going to prep you guys up with the thought and idea and mojo of the next 2-week shows leading up to Valentine's Day. I've got 2 hand-pulled glass marini hearts, and this is going to be a members specialty edition, the only snail to this point, and maybe for this holiday season, this Valentine's season.
I was like, holiday season?
That has a glass heart upon its shell. And depending on how this goes, we haven't done one of these yet, it could be upon his slime.
That's like right in the line of what I'm filming.
This too?
Yes.
So these are a really fun product to make.
I'm just wondering, the heart class, if we add a heart inside a heart.
Double heart? I'm going to go for the swirl here, just so you got awareness of the next
what
step.
are you saying? Be aware?
Yep.
Valentine's Day is a holiday season, that's for sure.
Yeah, you're right. Do the old
It's
flip
a
and
horn.
grab. The tuck and twist. Don't burn your fingers, move. Let it fall a little.
What is that ancient snail that has all those shapes in it? It's ammonite or something with an A.
Fossil?
Yeah, it's a fossil that's got that Fibonacci sequence kind of deal.
I know the one you're talking about. You see it in all the fossil stores. And,
Ammonite.
I don't know the name of it. Somebody might know it. If you've gone to every tourist town in America, they got it.
So this is a recycle with gold and then white on top shell. A lot of action, a lot of contrast in color and mojo.
Welcome to the show, everyone. Bess, who do we have on the show tonight?
A lot of people
Maurice
tuning in. Let's
and a
see
bunny.
here over on the FB side. We've got Katrina says hello from Chicago. Carrie says, hey, GA friends, happy to be watching tonight from Connecticut. Mary says checking in from Hudsonville, Michigan.
Woo.
Jody says hi from snowy Prince Edward Island, Canada. Carol says hi everyone watching on Facebook and YouTube. Hannah says hi from Sweden. Jan says yay, my favorite part of the week. Mine too. Angel says hello, have a great show, guys. Good night, good glass blowers.
And you notice Bess is wearing her Eagles hat because we are pretty excited about the Chiefs losing the Super Bowl a couple weeks from now. That's all I'll say about it.
I want to say, if you remember, you got one e-news today, and it talked about all the goodness coming in for 2025. We have so many things happening, I can't even begin to tell you.
It's a busy time of year for us, especially right now, as far as planning all the things that are in motion.
Yeah, we gave it a go. Here's Bess's little table, but I didn't put her table here in front of that table.
Halfway there.
Halfway. But we're going to make
Red
a new
slime.
background platform for Bess.
That's the bottom. Turns into a tendril.
It's like Jake and Chris are doing charades. You guys can't hear them, their mics are off.
Mic's off, right?
Yeah, you just looked like you were doing charades because I couldn't hear you.
Ah, there we go. Yeah, so we've got the shell designed here. Now we're going to go for a lingonberry red slime body. It's very important as we go over the snails on the table that you'll see how, by the way that they're applied, they build up this gullet, and it's almost like a little pouch for the wintertime that stores its extra slime and heat to make it through the winter, which is kind of how we're all feeling right now in the
So are you
depth of
saying
January.
We're building up gullets too.
Yeah, and I'm sure the people watching tonight can relate that everyone's building up a little bit of gullet mojo right now in the middle of January because it's just tough out there.
And gullet, is that really a word?
It is.
I mean, it makes sense. I don't know.
I think gullet's a word.
I've heard it before.
Gullet's a word.
I know sometimes you have to question when Jake and Chris make up words, but
We've done it once or twice.
2 coats enough?
Yeah.
Thank you, Roland. See you Friday.
over on the YT side, Amy says howdy guys.
Howdy.
Jamie says hello everyone. Karen says hello. Robert says, Jake, I hope you're right. And Sam says, love Tuesday nights because of GA.
This is the secret move. All you other
Not
glass shops
secret
out
anymore.
there, when you want to know the secret moves, that was one of them. But we saw it here first. It's all documented on YouTube. Glass Academy's leading the way
That's right.
in snail production.
I was down and out with a cold last week. Really happy to be back. Now Oliver's taking the cold, and he's at home relaxing, building up his
Is
energy
he on
again.
the show at all?
I haven't seen him yet.
Okay. Jake last week went to bed at 7:30.
7:15, slept for
and
14
texted
hours.
me at 3 in the morning because he
Wow.
woke up.
Yeah, it was pretty serious. So where do you think we should put this heart? Right on the front of him? Right on
What do
his
you guys-
slime zone?
On the
I
front
think
of his
so.
body
Yeah.
or on his shell?
I think on the front of his body.
Mary says Chris looks all dressed up.
Nice.
Are you all dressed up?
No, just wearing my glass blowing outfit.
Yeah, it doesn't say Glass Academy on it, like we're all required to wear.
Now that we're all talking about the Red Wings, we had an amazing game
Yeah, we
last
did.
night against LA.
That was a good game.
5-2, amazing game. LA was in second place in their conference, and we took them out.
Would you
Want me to
give
heat
those
these
hearts
guys up?
Yeah, a little bit of mojo. I'll just spread the eyes out a little bit and bald them up so they look real slimy.
He's a cutie.
One on either side of the shell, or one right on the front, I think.
Yeah, like down there. I kind of think that
It's like a traveling lover slug.
I think that's probably the move.
Either side.
Yeah.
You
We'll
gotta
have to
heat
do
it up.
one at a time. so I can really get some heat on here.
This guy's going to be ready for you whenever you're ready.
All right, I think I'm ready.
So using this handheld torch, Jake is heating up a little area that
The love zone.
will be warmer than the other part. Chris preheated, the heart.
I'll flip it around the other way.
Are you putting one on each side?
Yep.
Yeah.
You got to know that the thing loves you from both sides, whether it's coming or going.
Are they double-sided or two-sided hearts?
Yeah.
Two-hearted snails?
And
Yes.
This is a
Like
lover.
two-hearted ale.
Yes.
This is called the lover snail.
And this white's a finicky color, so it might be actually cool that I'm going to have this kind of burnt out zone behind each of the marinis, and perhaps the gold will show itself a little bit more.
Oh, he did it opposite, eh? I
Yeah.
should have left it the other way.
Hello.
We got her.
Nice.
The double lovers snail, first of its kind. They do procreate very quickly, so don't be surprised if all of a sudden.
Oh my gosh, in the annealer, you should make like 7 little ones that are trailing behind it.
Has
Open
any-
up the annealer and they're all in there.
Has anybody ever out there had a fish tank that got those snails inside the fish tank that you can't stop them from reproducing? And there's literally thousands of them, and you keep going in and getting them and pulling every one of them out. And then the next morning, there's another 50 of them in there. You throw all them away. I got to a point where I would just go in and just crush them all with my finger right up against the glass. And they just kept on coming back. It was just horrible. You have to drain the whole tank and sterilize it and get rid of the fish and start over from
Aren't they for
scratch.
cleaning the walls and shit?
No,
though?
that's
I mean,
the
stuff.
that's the placostomus. Placostomus.
Wow.
That's what sucks all the juices off the wall.
If you said that 5 times, you'd probably lose a tongue.
Placostomus. Placostomus. Placostomus.
All right, we're going to get this off of the pipe, but remember, members, the only ones available to purchase this piece, that this is a red body, and strategically picked were the heart marinis, which will show you the rest of them, but this is a red exterior, white core heart marini. And why don't we give it a little bit of reduction and see
What happens?
what the deal is, because there
What's-
is gold underneath it.
Really?
Heather says, yes, I have those in my fish tank right now.
Yeah, they're the worst. The only way you can, because they lay their eggs, billions of them in the rocks, guys. You got to get them out of the rocks. Horrible.
I'm so traumatized by these
Sounds
animals.
really tough.
Just makes me nervous thinking about it.
We're going to have to take a look at that one when it cools down, but it's looking like a green undertone because of the recycle and gold. And then the white on top, it's really got some sort of like prehistoric color scheme to it.
Do you want your little plate?
Yeah, it's right back there.
Is this the stamp goes underneath?
Stamp is right on the bottom. These have evolved just like the gnomes have too. Came many a way and many a distance to now having the stamp directly where it belongs.
Perfect.
There.
There. A good snail.
I'm going to grab him right by his hearts. Come here, little buster.
Chris, Stephanie would like you to know if you put a lettuce leaf in your tank overnight, all the snails will go onto the lettuce leaf, and then you can just pick up the leaf and throw it out.
That's what's going on? Really? Well, I long
What'd you
since
say, Mom?
abandoned my fish tank. So I won't be doing that again.
You can tell I haven't blown any glass today.
What'd you say?
I opened all 3 doors, and it was the 4th door. That was the one I needed going. It was stamped on the bottom. Yeah, that was right. It was right after the slime and the eyes got pulled. You do a quick stamp as you're sphericizing the eyeballs.
For everybody out there, guys, we stamp every piece that comes off the pipe. Mainly with stemware that's very fragile. We'll stamp where the punty comes off so that we're not like trying to throw the piece off or having it be something that interrupts the way your hand holds onto the cup. But everything gets stamped.
Would
by
that be
GA
an
stamp.
ergonomic interruption?
I think it would be a What is it, ergonomic? A UI? Ergonomic interruption. I can spell.
I don't know. I have no idea how to spell that.
Sweet.
But
Well,
bam.
We are the Glass Academy, the gathering point, just about 15 minutes outside of Detroit. I think Michelle is standing right around the corner with all her action, getting ready to go. Are you blowing the next piece?
Here I am.
Here she is. Let's see it from behind the camera. It's Michelle. What's that on your head? Dang.
What? Shout out, Carhartt. Thank you. Christmas gift.
Yeah, Carrie, you're a champion. That's a super sweet Glass Academy gift for us.
Okay, so
what do you
here's
got?
the deal.
Experimental show, last one of the month. We're doing something that's not already a product of ours.
So,
And the theme is?
what is the question tonight, too?
What is one thing you always bring with you to make a new place make you feel more at home?
All right, we talked about this at dinner time. Analyze that question any way you want. We're going to get to it, but first we're going to talk about houses. Last year I tried a little house. It was 3 times as big as this, but it was solid.
Let us know in the chat if you remember the house design Michelle did. I remember it very well.
And was that little house on the prairie?
It was on the prairie.
All right.
Here's
Okay.
the prairie. For Christmas, I got these cute little houses.
As a Christmas gift?
Yes. And if you know me, you know I love thatch roofs. These could be like, you could put moss in them and have like a green roof, but they're little flower vases. So in the spring, I'm going to put flowers in them and they'll be like the roof.
Moss would
Okay?
be so cool.
So this would be a glass item. But the trick with glass is these sharp corners, they're hard to make.
Right.
So inside this prototype
Oh.
is, you put the little light in there. When I'm done, I'll show you. But before we make these, we're prototyping them. So this is graphite. It's on the ground. I'm going to step on a stool. I'm not so worried about, I just want to see if the shape is going to work. I'm going to blow into it this way, punny it on the backside, and trim it. It's really out there. I'm not sure
Experimental
if it's
show, guys. It may or may not work at all.
So
But
here,
that means you're not going to be using color for this first one. Is that
nope,
correct?
I'm going to use recycle,
So she's got the shape molded off of this item.
which you put a little tea light in it, and
Hold
it's
on.
like your little night light.
Trying to connect.
Well, that's thank you
Beautiful.
for letting me know the reality of that, because I thought you were going to be blowing inside that
Me
house.
too for a second.
I prep you guys. I show you the
All
whole
right,
way
you guys.
to go.
Michelle really
So
does
the
have her
thing
stuff together.
blowing this way, and then I need to trim the top. So there's going to be a punny here. That's not going to be so good.
Yes.
Fried rice. But maybe that's where I put the door after. I don't know. We'll see.
Let's see.
Okay.
So we got the gist of it. We'll get down to the glass blowing. Michelle is going to go gather up a molten hot gather of, what are you going to use? Recycle?
Yeah, which tank? Left?
Far left. 2100 degrees. It's going to be a transparent blue glass.
Chris, can you move the...
And while she goes to gather that up, I'm going to take you across a quick pan of our specialty product virtual gallery snails tonight. This will be going live at 6:30 on the Glass Academy website. In a moment, we'll go around and give you some up-close hand-holding shots, but we've got 2 different price points. We've got the sparkle glass inclusive, number 10 being really out of control. So is number 12, 9, 7, 4, 2, maybe 1 over there. And then the other ones have no dichroic glass. And this has become the first year that Matt's begun to start making snails. And I've spent, since we've picked up Tabea now, and we're teaching her as well from the ground up, I've spent a couple shifts with Matt blowing glass, attempting to pass off some products and really pick his brain and lay down the way I think through certain items. And he's done a really great job, and I'd consider a snail about 85% complete on his product list that he can manage. So that's pretty exciting, but that's just for the virtual gallery. Tonight's experimental show is all about the house mojo. And once Michelle gives her crack at it here, Chris is going to be jumping in and giving him his a shot, him a shot, shot, or something. And then we'll go from there. So she's got a bubble in there. She's blowing out another bubble.
Double bubble?
Double bubble trouble.
I learned an interesting fact in this historical glassblowing book I was reading last night.
Yeah.
The fact was that glass has been being, since glass was invented, we haven't got to the halfway point of its invention yet. It was invented we're at 2024 after the birth of Christ. Well, glass was discovered longer than 2024 years ago before Christ. So it was discovered in like 2500 BC. So we're not even at the halfway point of the discovery of glass and where we're at now.
That's interesting.
Shears?
It's a pretty fresh material, it's true. How have you prepped this? Let's see. She's put a neckline into the piece. She's checking the diameter, the size. And what are your thoughts, initial thoughts?
My thought is I could have shot the bubble a little more down to the bottom so that it's even wall thickness. So that's okay.
So you're saying it's a little thick on the bottom?
A little thicker than I wanted on the bottom, yes.
Okay. Are you going into the mold on this heat?
That I
And
am.
I'm going to get the up-close shot. Now, notice that these are not, this is a graphite setup, then just placed together, held together with bricks so that it doesn't move. Graphite's a lot different than a wood mold that would be smoking and blasting and getting all crazy. We're not going to see much action here. She's probably got a graphite mold on the bottom, so we're not blasting a hole into the floor. So that might smoke a little if there's not one down there, but it does look like it's taken pretty good shape.
I didn't have one on the floor because I didn't have one that would fit.
Ah.
So that was the roof. Little thin.
Little thin,
Little thin.
but it's a nice shape.
May I have a punty?
And the other thing about it being a little bit thin is you likely could have hit those creases a little bit harder if it was thicker, potentially. It would have held its heat and been able to fill into those crevices a bit more.
But you know what happens? I do one, and then I'll go back to the camera.
Hard to film with the up and down slider like that.
Oh, excuse me?
You
Should
know.
I be telling you that?
Yeah. Got to let me know.
No, you just got to plan ahead and be.
No, that's just not how it works.
It is how it works.
The Loyalty League members piece is now available, so if you are Loyalty League, you already received that email earlier today. Check out your link to get that really cute double-hearted snail.
The double-hearted snail.
Have we cleaned the shears? Am I going to get a surprise?
I haven't blown any glass today.
Even more reason.
So that's
you.
beautiful. Bess,
Yeah?
any questions in the chat? Any action going on?
So, Jamie has a question for Chris. He's asking if he's ever made a bird bath. I know that that's not a technical glass blowing question.
Bird bath?
Oh,
A
yeah.
bird bath.
I've made a bird bath before. For sure. I remember specifically.
Hannah says, I love the spontaneous info parts from Chris. It's always so interesting.
Nice.
Robin says, number 10 has the coolest pattern in the dichro on the table.
Yeah, I agree. I'm excited to get over and get
Chris,
some close-ups on those.
Heather says, what is the first main product you ever made, Jake?
First main
what am I doing?
product
Main product that we carry.
that's been made?
Yeah, like that we carry. What was your first main product that you
Like
worked
the
on?
staple of the Glass Academy? I guess it'd be better to ask maybe Chris or Michelle what the main product was that got some income going.
The Garpata flower pot.
The Garpata
and,
flower pot
Mano vase.
and the Mano vase.
The bottle, the tall bottle.
I know what you're talking about.
Heather
Will you
also,
bring me the
But
house
nobody
over
else
to the
does.
bench?
Heather also has a question. She said, what is a punty?
Oh, what a great question.
I missed it. What was the question?
What is a punty?
We got some newbies on the show if that question's coming through.
I'll help you with
Yeah,
that.
we love that question. There's always supposed to be good questions like that.
You even have a
What do
whole
you got?
whiteboard right now.
A punty
Actually, yeah,
is how
I do.
you hold the glass. Michelle's got a punty, which is the punty rod is a solid rod. You can't blow through it. And it's used for two things. It's used for holding the glass. And the way you hold a piece of glass with the punty rod is you gather a small amount of glass on the end of it, like a Q-tip, at the end of a Q-tip,
like the
and then you
picture.
attach it to the piece you're working on, and you can hold it at different angles and different perspectives so you can work the glass and get it hot. You also use the punchy rod to gather molten glass out of the furnace and bring it over to the gaffer, who's the glass blower, and you can add amounts of glass onto the surface of the piece you're sculpting or blowing.
That's right. And if there's any glass blowers out there or anybody learning, like a lot of you are watching the show, there she is.
I'm going to put the house next to it when I knock it off.
Sweet. You might be able
Anything?
to see and understand that punty explanation. That's one of the first things that you learn as a glass
Why
blower
is there
is
never
how
a
to bring a
knife here?
punty. It's an essential thing to do as an assistant. The main portion of teamwork.
We use, yeah.
Nice. Broke off beautiful.
So see how it's very similar.
Let me get this angle. Now you see, if you watched our experimental shows previously, where they were pre-recorded and we did them once a week, this was pretty much the way it goes down. It's recycle, it's simple, it's figuring out the way of the moves, of what's possible, if it works, if it's not going to work, and it's very baseline experimental. And this is going to be what we're thinking for the 4th show of the month.
All right.
Getting back into a little bit of that mojo.
Baseline experimental.
That's what it was, but what are your thoughts? What do you think about that?
I think the thinner copper pipe, I think it worked. The roof was wrong. I think cutting graphite that would fit and having graphite on the bottom, it would totally work.
Yeah.
It would totally work. So then the only thing is to think about, I don't like the punny here because it's going to be on the front of the house.
Right.
Right? So it could be a stamp that looks like a door. So when the piece is finished, breaking it off this way from the punny and then taking a thing that looks like a door
Totally.
and putting on it would be cool. The windows, I thought about putting marinis that would have like a little cross in the marinis.
Yes.
So that would be an extra embellishment you could put on it.
That's what I was going to try for mine.
You're going to try to do what?
I was going to do an expedited marini, but I'll get into that when it's my turn. Are you going up next?
You say it's my turn to make some type of a house?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just get them started and off they go.
Well, as he's brainstorming and thinking about the first one, you want to...
That would be great. Table goes live in 2 minutes.
What?
2 minutes. Let me hand model these honeys.
The price might be on the bottom.
Obviously,
Obviously what?
that's
Super sparkle?
ridiculous.
Some of them can be a little one-sided, so we tried to put the sparkle side front forward.
Yeah, and some of them, so like we don't have Dyco. This one is a green body, but it has twisted darker and lighter blue vortex throughout the whole piece. That's a transparent shell. We also have transparent sparkle glass that you can see the color underneath, but you still get that metallic property kind of sporadically laid upon there.
You show off number 10?
Oh yeah. This one's the most glamorous on the whole table because of that ridiculous color, obviously, because of the fingerprints on the front as well, but also because it's got our Adventurine Super Bling on there also. This is a top-notch, very
Everything
glamorous.
is an original work of art from the Glass Academy. Original designs, never to be seen again.
Look at that color pattern. I like that, the white and green on its own. But this
Bling,
is a
bling, bling,
tall
bling, bling.
Sears guy. This is the thickest, the heaviest, on the table, and that's
Does that
pretty
matter?
good. I would say that number 6 is a very cool recycle white-blue mix, total marble effect.
That's cool.
So this has a lot of depth going on in it. You can keep looking at it forever if you want it.
I really like him.
Pretty cool.
Fingerprints are free.
Yep.
We got Miranda and Sarah working in the back room setting up
Yeah.
the Michigan room space. Lucy Hart at work on the computer.
The Loyalty League member piece has sold, but our table is now live and available, so check out the comments. I'm going to put the link in there.
All right. And we're 2 shows ahead, as we've been explaining. We're getting more and more organized, and we have product already being designed for next week's show and the following show with those heart marinis, drinkware, and there'll be another type of thing that has a conscience coming up after that as well. And I think you guys are going to be pretty blown away with the pieces that are coming up on the show.
Morgan says, I missed the experimental show.
So we're
Get
giving it
ready.
back to you. Let's
And
hear your
you guys
thoughts.
Saw Roland here. We're filming a video Friday, and he's going to cut out like all the reheats and different things, and they're going to all have themes. So if you're members, you're going to get the video first. Then we're going to release to the general public. Someone's calling us.
I was going to say, I can hear that in my headphones.
You take.
All
Let's hear
right.
it.
So I'm just thinking about how I'm going to make this house, and I definitely want to try to poke some holes with the tungsten bit through the sidewalls for the windows and square them up. And I want to make sure the glass is thin enough that I'm going to be able to do that. So I'm going to blow it out a little on the thinner side. And I'm going to also make sure that I have a decent neck on it.
It doesn't like my obstacle course on the floor.
No, it's hard to film when you got no walking room.
Oh, welcome to my
I'm wondering if you could
world.
cap the end of my pipe and film from behind, Jake.
For sure. Right, coming behind you.
Okay.
Oh, at the marber, I see.
Let me get a little air on it. Hold on. All right, cap it.
So this is just recycled, or you added color?
Color.
Because
I wanted some color on it. Real interesting fact.
but wait a second. When it's experimental, we don't do color.
Nobody told me that. This is the first experimental show I ever did, folks. Now I know some fact.
So you're getting the full family dynamic, folks, here on this show.
Cheryl says, have you ever used a blow hose?
Yes, Cheryl, I do
Any
use
cappage?
the blow hose from time to time. Depends on the product. A lot of drinkware shows will pull out the hose unless you've got 3 assistants and a team of 3 working on a product. There's various moves that you need a 3rd set of hands. There's one other thing I'll use the blow hose for is the teardrop ornaments.
Why is that? So you can get them the shape?
Yeah, it's about consistency. For me, when you're making ornaments and they're so paper thin and you're working so quick with such a little amount of glass, I don't really have the time, and neither does my assistant, to be so precise with the amount of air and pressure blowing up each of those to make them exactly the same, or as handmade-ness as the same as possible, if you know what I mean. So that's what I use that for. That's a nice crispy shape there. If you guys didn't catch the reason that I was capping the air in the end of the pipe, Chris asked me to cap it over there. He was squishing and flattening down each of the sides. And every time you do that, if you don't trap the air in the pipe, it will sink in and you won't get those tight, crispy edges. You'll have nothing to push against. The air will release through the end of the pipe and it'll just start to flatten out. So by trapping it in there, he could push against the trapped air and really get a crisp edge. And that's what he's done. It's turned out pretty good.
Yeah, that's why glass is tricky. Like sheet glass will give you sharp corners when you do stained glass, but blown glass is a little sharp corners.
Sharp
are
edges are not an easy thing, no. And he's going to really tighten them up by torching and pinching and pulling out each corner to a point. And that's making it look much more square-like. That's a nice move. Is this the leather or is this the lingonberry?
It's the one on the right, the leather.
The leather. This is like, I think of it kind of like a terracotta brown almost. It's really brick-like. Really nice color. And is this going to be a standalone, non-functional house item, or is it going to have some moss or light component like Michelle's did?
I think it's just going to be a house for starters until I see exactly
what the deal is.
What goes down. But I'll be able to put a little Maurice will putty it up on the bottom here.
You ready for that now?
Yeah, I am.
Hey, this stool is like the perfect size.
It is.
So because it's been so cold out, I set up a little heated cat house on my back deck because I have a stray that comes by for food. And somebody was in there last night. I was super excited. I went to go look inside, and I have a baby possum instead. So.
Oh no! It's not a cat. It's a possum.
It's not. Well, I have seen the cat on my Ring video, and so I was hoping he was the one in the house. But I opened up the door when I got home from the Wings game, and it was instead a baby possum in my little cat house.
What?
So
Did he play dead?
No, actually, he kind of just stared at me. We stared at each other, and.
Oh my God, that's a scary looking item.
The opossum, yes,
They're so cute,
Bess,
though.
you should pop that up on the screen for the people.
I really don't think that they are cute at all, Bess.
I love possums.
They're really
Yeah,
gnarly looking.
honestly, I think we can be the judge of that in the chat if you put that picture up. And
I will do that.
we can decide if that thing's cute looking or not.
I love possums.
Oh
I
my
don't know that
God.
I want him living in my little cat house, but he is cute and he is very small.
So that, to go back to the punty, that is the flip around and the very important punting process. So now Chris is very aware that he's working on the opposite side of the piece, and he made that connection at just the right amount of strength to hold on to it for as long as he thinks he's going to be working on this house.
Yeah. I think I'm going to have you blow me roof. Like a blown
Drop it
foot.
over top?
Yep.
All right.
And I don't know, what do we got that dark color over there? Is that a black?
It looks like Sagrasso.
That's green.
Sagrasso green?
Emerald.
So
Emerald?
it could be a green roof.
Could be a green roof. All right.
Do you want me to put some
black out?
Granny Apple or some black or something?
Black would be nice.
All right.
Going traditional for the black
Yeah, well.
tar roof or whatever it is.
Yeah, because of the
Speaking of roofs,
shingles.
Oh, you are speaking of roofs.
I would love to hear of all the varying ages and walks of life and different zones that people live in around this world, not even just the country. Have you ever gotten your roof redone? And if so, how much did it cost? That could have been 20 years ago, could have been 10 years ago, could have been a month ago. I'm very curious to hear how the prices have changed over time.
Yeah,
Did
but
you
you
get
can,
your
what
roof
is the
I gotta
square
get my roof
footage of
redone.
the house too?
And what's the square footage on the house? That's
Because and where Jake lives, they're 2-story, like bungalows.
I tell you what, I do know a fact that after COVID, roofing shingle prices went up 40%.
yeah,
of petroleum.
and it's averaging up 21% per year the cost to get a roof done right now.
You could do
Is that
a
enough,
thatched
Wes?
roof.
A little more.
A little more would be nice.
Or there's someone in our neighborhood who did one of those tin roofs.
Palm leaves. I actually just planted a palm tree. I could weave them together
You could. It's the kind of house I'd like to live in.
like Survivor. Oh, here's a great question. Another good e-news question, but just another good one for the chat. Has anybody ever been on a reality TV show?
What? Your mind is, they're still answering the
all over
first
the place.
question.
Well,
That's a lot of questions.
get it going in the chat, folks.
Which reality TV show were you on?
Yeah.
Chopped, Naked and Alone, or whatever? Naked and Afraid?
Naked and Afraid.
Get in alone. And
I remember when I was on that show,
Yeah.
and I was afraid.
He was scared.
Survivor, Bachelorette.
You used to
do
what?
What does that mean? I always wondered about that. Are you serious?
We need the hookup.
Wow, we got to hear more about this. I love those challenges.
Straight up.
Wait a second. She lived in Vermont, so they were testing things in Vermont? Or do you think she went, was it local? Where was it? You got to go to Samoa? Shut up. I'm in the wrong job.
We used to watch Survivor as a family growing up. It was the jam. It's still on my list of things to apply to.
Dang.
Ready for it? Here we go, folks. Dropping it like it's hot.
Sorry, I'm still stuck
This is a
in Samoa
molten
over here.
glob of recycle with deep black glass that Chris is going to drop over the top.
Stay. Lift up, Jake, little.
Look at this move.
Stay. Blow. Stop.
It's like a Hershey's Kiss has landed on the house.
And I gotta
It's a tiki
say,
hut.
being that it was black glass there, he had a little bit of extra time to do all that action and still be able to cut it at the end. If that were a red roof, it would have been a little bit tough, and the prices probably would have been cheap because it's a pretty low-end motel.
Red roof.
Will you
in.
grab me the straight crimps, the small straight crimps?
That one just came out
Flowed
real smooth
right.
like butter.
That's what's funny about these shows when we
You want
pick a
both of those?
theme. There's
No.
always some weird, like this looks like a tiki hut or like a Russian, the top of the Russian buildings.
And so now this is completely sealed. It's a sealed bubble. So when he's pushing on each of these edges, it's just like when we had it capped with my hand. The air is trapped in there. The only difference is when there's no air release on a bubble like this, we've experienced it with our mushrooms that we make or the bubble trees, various other things. There's nowhere for that air to go when the glass is cooling and reheating. So it'll expand and contract, and you got to be careful of your shape because sometimes it'll do funky things.
You have the straight one with the lines, Jake?
Yep.
Things are getting crazy in the gallery. Maria's moving displays around. Or something.
And also, go you grab me a tungsten bit, Jake? No, it was up there. She was moving a big box. Yeah.
All right, Beth, you got any questions in the chat?
Not really. Everybody is just liking watching. We've got a conversation about how a hat with feet sticking out of it would be cool. Dave said very creative move on the roof.
Look at this.
We're still talking about possums.
Did nobody answer my 4 different questions?
I haven't gotten pricing. Carol said she has a steel roof.
That's cool. Steel roofs are the expensive ones, I think, right?
They're trends
Hold this,
now.
Jake.
We've got a couple of them in Ann Arbor.
That is a hut if I ever saw one.
I ran a poll on Facebook if people thought possums were cute. And I've got 3 no's and 5 yeses.
And what was the question?
Do you think possums are cute?
Oh, 3 no, got it.
3 no's, 5 yeses.
You know, we rarely see them. I think I saw once in my life, like right in front of me.
What was the answer? What happened?
3 no's, 5 yeses for our possums cute.
3 no's, 5 yeses. That seems a little weird. I don't know.
You're not convinced?
He just doesn't want to listen.
Yeah.
What?
No, it doesn't
if
talk about
people
me.
like possums or not. We're over here on the hut.
So Chris, tungstened a hole in the bottom, and that's exactly, again, what we were talking about. The air being trapped inside is no longer trapped on the inside of the actual house itself. So here he goes again for the next one. I'm going to flip it right when the moment's right.
Yep.
So why is he doing more than one?
Because these are two separate bubbles.
Got it.
However, I do recall him saying he was going to use the tungsten for some other type of move.
Mm-hmm.
Jody has a steel roof. She says she likes rainstorms.
Ooh, I
Super
never really thought
loud,
about that.
or maybe just loud enough. Flipping.
Yep.
At the Renaissance Festival, we have this oak tree next to us, and it's got lights in the ceiling,
Flip.
like skylights. And when the acorns hit those skylights, it sounds like a bomb.
It's got to be too hot.
Flip.
It's an eyeball sizzler. I wonder how it looks for you guys in the chat.
Guess we'll just go for those 3 in a door.
Okay.
I'll put one in for the door right now. So that's going to be, those are on the side. Put a door right here. Okay.
Beautiful. So that's 4 tungsten holes blasted into the side of the house. Little
Karen
bench
says
organization.
she paid $5,000 for a roof 3 years ago.
5,000?
That is so good. 5,000, right?
Yeah, that's super good.
Yeah.
I just got a window quote the other day to redo my windows, and they quoted me, it was like 56,000.
What?
Yeah.
No, that's wrong. There's no
My
way.
house is like under $200,000. I was like, what? You're talking
yeah, and
about
your
like a
house is
third?
small. What is the square footage?
I don't remember. So this is a lot of sculpting. This is a nice mix and combination between glass sculpting and glass blowing. This is a hollow situation, but he's using the torch. He's working and opening up holes in different spots and lining it up. And meanwhile, sculpting is tough enough on its own when it's solid and when the glass holds a lot of its heat. But when you're doing it when it's blown like this, you have even less time to work on each individual spot that you're working on because it's hollow and it's losing its heat and that punty's small. So he's kind of working it along as he goes. This is the first time that we've done houses on the show other than that one experimental show and then the ornament show the other day back in December where we made the giveaway.
The other day, you know, back in
as the
December,
house.
2 months ago.
Yeah,
The other day.
that's the one.
It's like a mouth. Hello. There's so many fun things with houses. There's so much symbology.
There's the main door.
The main
I think,
entrance.
how about a couple eyeballs?
Yeah, I was about
That's
to
what I'm
say.
saying.
You want marinis or you want...
You can give me a couple marinis, sure.
Heart marinis. Home
Heart
is where the
marinis
heart
or-
is.
I don't care. Probably I'd want just round ones for eyeballs.
I got a great pair right here. I love these ones. Trying to get something that's a little bit matching in size. Love that squeaking
It
sound.
feels like your dad's, where he kept all his
Fuck.
screws or something.
How do these look?
Great, as long as they're flat.
As long as they're what?
I don't know, are they really tall? I'll stick them in the hole. Hey Lucy, could you get me a butter knife? I think the butter knives are over there, but I don't know where the hell they all are.
Yeah, how come there's never a butter knife in the
They're all
knockout
right here
tray?
in the silverware drawer.
All right.
Now I know.
Yep.
Ye old butter knife.
They're right over here.
Because somewhere in the hot shop we have a silverware drawer. There it is.
Thanks,
Butter
Jake.
knives are always in high demand.
Question.
Shoot.
Dave says, why doesn't the glass stick to the hot tungsten?
The different metal of the tungsten, you preheat it. I don't know. Don't know the answer. What is tungsten made out of? Steel?
Ready for me to start heating them?
Yeah, I'll heat them up right
Yeah. Don't know, Dave.
now. I'd answer it, but I didn't know. I didn't hear the question, Dave. So
Why does the tungsten not stick to the glass if it's preheated?
because tungsten's got a completely different chemistry of the metal of tungsten is completely different than anything else. You ready for that for me, Jake?
Give me 2 extra seconds.
Are the houses being made tonight going up for sale or not because it is an experimental show?
You know, that is one of the catches with the experimental show. Sometimes we want to save them so we can look at them. I would say this, they'll probably not be for sale tonight, but they would be for sale after we do the annealer reveal. Would that be a fair assessment? Or do you guys want to sell yours as you roll?
Maybe
I
we
like
could
s-
decide on the fly because,
Yeah.
we'll see what we want to do.
If it makes it off the pipe, it'll
I've
be
got
for sale.
really high expectations for mine, and I think it's going to be really, really cool.
I understand, but then we can't have the evolution of the experimental show on the shelf when people come visit if we sell them all.
Right.
Jake, I need a small white bit, probably like pinky size.
Okay. Subscribe, folks. I was watching on YouTube last night the other time, and I was wishing I could talk to you at all and ask you to like the video that you're watching in the moment, all in this moment right now, to boost the algorithm for us. But I did notice that our YouTube viewership has overtaken Facebook on that particular show.
All right, here's what I'll ask. Now, I'm in a YouTube course, and they say subscribers aren't a big thing. They say that a lot of people will watch the show but not subscribe to the channel. So here's my question to you all. If
Two
you are
Cokes?
on YouTube,
Yeah.
put a yes or no in the chat. Yes, I'm subscribed. No, I am not. No pressure. Just asking. Is it true?
Eh?
One sec.
Oh boy, is that a nostril?
Oh, there's a face on it?
Yep.
We've got some bell emojis going.
Yeah. No way.
It's a bucket sapsucker.
Oh my God. I think we're seeing the sculptage and creation of 2 front buck teeth. He just nestled them right in there
This is the house that loves you back.
with its buck teeth. This brings us back to our creature show for sure back in the day. Oh my God. That's amazing.
It's just exciting. All right, how about a little clear one for a GA stamp on this guy?
I'll bringeth the stamp.
Linda says yes, subscribed on both Facebook and YouTube. Dallas says yes, subscribed, but I like Facebook better. And then we've got yeses from Karen, Carol,
coming at you,
Jamie, Susan, and Diane, all on YT.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate you letting us know. I know there are many people that watch the show post-show. So if you're watching this in a replay, you could put replay/yes or no. And let's see if it's true. If people are, I think when you subscribe, you can monetize things different. But I don't know. We're figuring it out.
All right, well, he started out to be a house, then his front door turned into a mouth, and then I sculpted a nose out of him, put a couple marini eyes, and now it's just a house guy.
The schnoz is sweet. And that's going to be brown and with a black top on it there.
That's what happens when you try to put Chris in a box in a house. Turns into something weird.
Carol says, oh geez, Chris always goes over the top. Dave says those teeth are talking. Carrie says, Chris, you are just off the chain. Robin says, Chris, you are incredible.
Little tap, little torch. I got the jumbo claw for this one. I'm gonna flip them and turn them so you get one final peek if you want. There he is.
Cute.
Come here, little buster.
He is a house. He's just one of those live ones. He looks like one of the guys in that race car movie, the cartoon. Woo! All right.
Yeah, baby.
Woo! Well, that was tough, Michelle. It was a pretty hardcore assignment. But I made it through it.
Wow.
All right.
Well, I wanted to show off because going for my piece here in a second, I'll let you do the paperwork on yours.
Yeah.
And here you can see we've done 5 different heart marini pulls. Take a look at this guy. Bar colored dense purple with iridescent gold, which isn't iridized right now because we had to anneal them, but you'll see on the pieces that these are made on that it comes out metallic.
And the pieces that, when you say made on,
We've made pieces for these, yep, specialty items for the next 2 Gathering Point shows in the virtual gallery.
I like your paper towel technique here. Is that something special and needed?
Matt did that.
Sometimes.
That was Matt's professional way of separating them as he was chopping them.
So cute. These ones, like
That's frit with clear on the inside.
yeah, that's pretty cool. These ones are hard to read until we did that.
And then the last color pattern.
Don't they look like little candies?
Yeah.
You want to just eat one?
I really love the bar color on the inside. I think it makes it a really crisp, clean situation. And speaking of marinis, a member's gift is being sent out very soon. And you might be surprised with something.
Dun, 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 dun. So members, that's Loyalty League and Thirsty. We have gifts coming for both of you.
Your mic on?
No. Okay, so that is Loyalty League and members only that will be getting those gifts. It's easy to become a member. What's listed on the website, Star Supporters is open all the time. Loyalty League will reopen in the spring.
We appreciate all your members, all your memberships, and the anneal reveal bonus perk we give to you guys and all the other goodness.
Do you see how this works? I did mine, and I had to do it out of recycle because we were experimenting, and you guys are just jumping in.
It's the 3rd attempt.
Oh, okay.
But this is actually going to be a quick attempt to do something that may or may not work on this marini path that we've been on here for a second now. I'd like to make some glass square marinis. We'll do them on a clear, and then I'll let it cool down as I start on the house, and then we can nip them down and hopefully get them thin enough. Maybe doing them on the diamond saw would work in the future, but by taking these and laying them over the color, it'll signify, in my mind, a glass window. We'll see what happens.
Oh, that makes sense. So there are marini nippers, which is a special tool. They're kind of like tile nippers for ceramic tile in your house. And then we do have a machine that's got a little wheel on it and nips them really fast.
A machine?
Always good to have a machine.
So that's a nice square section. We could probably get like 100 windows out of that.
Doing a high rise?
No. That could be. But I was imagining that if I did, this is a little thinner diameter here, but it'll work better with the nippers not being annealed and by doing this on the fly in this moment. But if I could take those and have 4 little ones all next to each other, it would be like, you know, the windows with the action on the inside. If that makes sense.
Are you going into this graphite mold or no?
No.
There it is, the little house. High tech.
I read another interesting historical fact
Tell
that
us.
I thought was really sweet. And that was that back in the, it was like about 1000 BC, before Christ, they had already been blowing glass in Egypt, in other places, and one of the glass blowers came to the emperor and said that he had discovered a new type of glass. This is written in the history books and published by Corning Museum of Glass. And he came to the emperor and said, I have this vase, and it was a cold vase he was holding, and he took the vase and said, I'm going to amaze you to the emperor, and he threw it on the ground and dented the side of the vase, and it was glass. And he picked it up and had an anvil with him and took the glass and hammered it back into shape and shaped it back into shape and manipulated it while it was cold and room temperature, and it worked.
What?
And the emperor said to him, and the emperor in Rome, I think it was Rome at the time, had the most glass production facilities, and his empire was the largest empire on the planet at the time. And he was so threatened by what this glass scientist / glass factory owner came up with that he instantly beheaded him right there in front of everybody because he didn't want to lose the preciousness of the glass that it breaks, because it would have put him out of business.
Wow.
Which is pretty crazy.
Yeah, that shit still happens today.
That is wild.
Come up with some really cool invention and they take you out.
And Jeff Bezos comes out with a sword and takes your head off.
Broke now.
Ouch. All right, so Dad, is there any chance that's cold enough to chop yet?
I probably can't even touch it yet, but I could try.
You got good fingers.
Let's see, these fingers look like they could touch that glass. I'm not sure. Oh, ow!
What?
It's still hot.
It is not.
Oh, go ahead and grab a hold of it. And my fingers are calloused. Just give me a couple seconds.
Kirby the Houseman is available for sale now.
Nice.
He named him, not me.
Ah, the houseman. I was like,
I thought that was someone watching the show.
Me
I'm
too.
Like, really? Who's that guy?
the reason I'm
Chris named it.
pushing the envelope on that is because, which is not what I was originally thinking, but I'm going to be stretching and making this really tall, kind of whimsical, square shape going up. And if I could get it halfway to the height that I want, and then put one set of a 4-box of windows and then stretch it a hair more, I think it would look really whimsical and cool with the clear kind of stretching along the piece. But I got a feeling that's not going to happen. So I'm just going to get it to the shape and size and height that I want, and then we'll add the windows to it. nice. Maybe I can do it then. Leave it a little bit rectangular here, and then I'm going to need to get a little nub on the end that I can grab onto and give it the old grab and stretch. It's a beautiful sound. The sound of marinis being chopped.
I can hear it in my headphones. I like it.
They look like little salt cubes.
Oh, I know a better way to even do this. Bess,
Yes.
you want to come turn this pipe for a second?
I can attempt.
Get her involved.
All right, put a clapping emoji in the chat, everyone.
It's going to be a little floppy.
Okay.
Hands in between mine. Yep. And try and turn a few times one way, a few times the other way.
Can she do it? Ladies and gentlemen.
Best work of the hot glass.
Here it comes.
I just realized I was humming. I
You're
was
fine, you're
focusing.
plenty
You guys
hot.
can
Want to
hear
give it
me.
a light
Great.
flash?
Like, how deep?
All the way in for a good 6 seconds.
So all of our staff take a class here, so they have a voice to
That's
talk to
good.
customers.
Maybe
Bess
that's
has
enough.
Taken,
Yes.
I don't know if
warm.
she's taken all the classes.
There's a
have
couple
not.
right
You
here.
can set it on the bench if you
I
want.
just
if
did
that's easier.
meditation globe for the first time last weekend.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Look at her go, folks.
Round of applause.
Can
in
she
chat
do it?
for
Can
Bess.
she pick one Ugg up off the ground? Well, she's doing it. Do it, Beth. Yeah.
They look like little salt cubes. All right, Bess, give it a flash. And she goes.
You want to have me set up 4 more?
Yeah.
4-sided?
This is the turntable. We're going to turn it on in a few minutes.
Wicka, wicka, wicka.
Play a song.
You want them just all squared together, right?
Yep.
I could do that for you.
Right there like
Are you
that.
going to have 1 on each side, or are you going to have 2 on each side?
I was thinking 1 would probably be fine. Thank you, Bess.
Okay.
That's pretty darn straight.
I tried.
Let's go.
Oh,
Do you
nice
want them
job.
touching?
No, just like that. So there's a little spot in between. So as I was sitting there thinking about it, I was like, we could preheat it. I don't want to lose my core temperature. That was key what Bess just did there, keeping it a little bit hot for me so that I could slap it on there. They'll be preheated. Maybe give them a little torch, maybe not, but just get the whole thing hot and then stretch them from there. I think the trick, though, is going to be keeping them to keep their squaredness versus rounding out. So maybe I'll get them on there, flap 1 on there, torch it, squish it into the body. That's what I'm going to do. Is that thing getting hot? Does it feel hot?
No. Yes.
And that's just cool looking. It reminds me of mosaics. You know, if we had all clear glass pieces like that, square glass shards lined up, they kind of look like little diamonds.
Can you use one of these longer, like 1 inch long for the door, or 3/4 of an inch long?
Yes.
Can you pick up right on this plate?
Yeah.
What is the plate made out of that the glass
I
won't
think it's a
stick?
cast iron type situation. If my glass is too hot and that's on max, it will stick for a quick
Okay.
second. We've had it happen before.
How's this for a door?
I think that looks perfect.
That's how they do meditation globe too. They pick up right off of there.
I mean, it could go even longer just because I'll have some into the moil, and I'll just choose the height of the door.
Like
Yeah.
that long?
Yeah, even more. So I'm just going to do the one front side. 2 windows. It'll be a high sky rise. There's going to be 1 window set on this side, 1 window set on that side, and then the door on the bottom. But right now I'm going to get my grabbing nub. All right, so we'll start with the windows, 1 at a time.
You want me to move that door out of the way so you don't accidentally touch it when you're sticking it on?
Sweet.
Which one you going for? Left first?
Right side was the first one on there, right?
Yep. Want this?
It's like a little tongue.
Oh, look how cool that looks.
Oh, he's excited, folks. Don't be melting it in now.
I wanted to melt them in
I
a little
kind
so
of
they
can give
stretch.
you more of those 4-packers if you want.
And you want a high rise, you want to soften them up a little.
Yeah, I think I'm going to stretch it out a little more, let them get a little long and whimsical with the body of it.
Yeah. You're going to stick all the other ones on first and do that all at the same time?
I guess.
Uh-huh. All right, because both pieces of glass are hot, they stick together. Voila.
2's enough, or you want another one?
2's fine, and then I'll go for the door now.
I'll put it right there. How's that?
Beautiful.
Just don't be melting this now. Maybe I should push it up a little.
That didn't sound very hot.
Oh, it's stuck.
Oh, that's why. Put it up too high. Maybe I could drag it down a little bit. But people have windows next to their door all the time. Thank you.
Yeah.
2, as a matter of fact. I love it. The high rise.
Yeah.
So one of the questions I had by asking that question was, what type of house do you live in? So is it a townhouse? Is it a condo? Do you live in a 2-story house, a ranch? Like when you start thinking about houses, there are so many choices. Do you live in a duplex? We have a lot of duplexes here in Michigan. As a working town, you could have 2 families in one building.
Yurt. I thought about making a yurt, which would be round.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That would be cool.
Little yurt. Get to say yurt all the time.
And you could do those and make them all the way around the outside edge, because there's square windows in the round thing, and then do the same dropped on top blown dealio.
That'd be cool.
So when Jake takes the metal paddle and rubs it on the glass, as the glass cools off, it gets darker in color. So that's why you see the change from the orange to what kind of looks like black. But once it's all evened out and cooled out, it will all be the same color. What was the color you used?
Black with gold on it.
I think that if once you cut that end off and you let the bottom stiffen up with the neck on it, you can heat the top up and press it back and make it a square.
Square on top.
Chris, your mic isn't on.
Paper going up.
It's like a Tim Burton house.
It looks like a banana.
All right, after this piece, we'll do our housekeeping. But we got more to come. It's like the intermission. That he was just squeezing on the neckline where it's going to come off from the pipe. Are you just going to knock this one off from the pipe? It's not getting puntied, right?
I was going to put it on a patty.
Oh, nice.
Green grass patty.
Cute.
You know, one good thing when you subscribe to the channel is I just got a notification on my phone that glass blowing's happening live. So when you subscribe, you can turn on notifications. That way you'll never miss a show. YouTube has all the shows recorded. You go to the live tab on the playlist, and you can watch the full live show. And then there's other videos on our page as well. We're at show 302.
That's, yep. Yep.
One at a time.
Yep.
It's going to be tapered wider at the bottom, like that when I bring it to you. So it's wider, and it goes up to a point.
So
like that
Sharon
at the
said
top.
she's in a tri-level.
Together.
Jody says I live in a lovely 2-bedroom in-law suite built onto the side of a beautiful rancher.
So your thing's probably like my thumb size.
Pam says we sold our house and live on a boat.
Ooh, that's fun.
It's fun.
It is fun.
Yeah, I was just gonna drag them. I was just gonna
talking
take a bit and go like this,
I don't know.
Like
Is Jake's
this.
mic on?
and then just flatten it like
Tell
that.
y'all in a minute.
And then
if I flattened it and it was fairly stiff, and then I brought it over to you and it was already tapered off the pipe like that, I could come over and just drop it on like
Over
that.
on YT, Stop and Think says, can I ask a question?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. Ask away.
Top and do the same thing on the other side underneath the end of it, join them together.
All right, I was going to say my brother was talking today about living in an RV. Some people do that.
I think it'd be more defined and not rounded up a like more.
okay.
Was
All
the
right.
question asked? Not yet.
Are your guys' mics on, or are we talking?
Our mics are on. Your mic
His
is on. His is off.
off. We paused when you were talking.
Okay. All right, let's do it. Gold.
Gold?
Yeah.
I don't know. It kind of reminds me of like a flattened banana right now.
Yeah, it's got some banana mojo. I wanted more bend to it, but just figured it out. It's experimental. It's going to be gold. It's going to become metallic, and then it's going to be anti-gold when those clear little spots are on top of them because it won't reduce on top of the clear. We're going to put the 2 top shingles on there, then we'll put just a tiny little another piece of preheated clear action, this exact size right here on the top for the chimney. And it's going to be amazing. I did pull out orange to have a little flame coming out of the chimney, but
Here's a question.
yeah,
Do we need chimneys now if we don't have fireplaces?
no,
Right?
but we should have fireplaces.
Yeah. So modern houses don't have chimneys.
Modern houses have fireplaces, though, don't they?
I don't know. You know how when you were a kid and you drew a picture of a house, you always
Yeah.
put a chimney on it?
Yeah,
If we asked
not
kids
as
to draw
classic
houses
anymore.
now, would they do that?
right. Beautiful. Yeah. Shingle texture.
So I watch these people on Instagram that make these thatch roofs in England. They're so cool. They trim them all up.
That's cool.
So there was no drawing these on the floor tonight.
Should have for the experimental show.
Well, I mean, some of it, the ideas just come through as you're working it. So
Yeah.
I don't know that
Can't
Chris
really
would have
draw.
drawn his with a face on it.
Yeah, that would have been completely different.
yeah.
Jan says, yes, you still need chimneys. That's how they vet the furnaces.
Oh, see, there we go.
There we go.
Clearly, I'm not a house builder.
Mary says, what is the board in front of Chris that's blocking the garage?
Was
He's
waiting
gonna
for
talk
somebody to
about
ask.
that. He's going to talk about that later. It's got a whole story about it. Don't
This
want
is
to steal his
interesting.
thunder.
This is just one of those things. It's like every product will have its ebb and flow, and you have to decide whether it's worth putting the time in of making 50, 100 different items to get it down pat where it actually makes sense. And I do think that this is a really cool idea, and I like Michelle's idea of doing a house. I think it could definitely be a really cool product, and I think there's probably 1 million different ways that we could make a house, and you're seeing a little bit of that tonight, each person doing their own style.
Well, and it also comes through of like what a house means to you. Like, what's the important parts for you? I just think that everyone's got a house. We all live somewhere. We can all relate. Here we are.
Experimental show, lots
There's
of thought
Lucy.
happening.
There's Chris. There's Bess. There's Maria out in the gallery. There's Sarah
all right.
in the gallery, way, way back. And back to the action of the glory hole. Kind of looks like an arrow shooting through.
Looks like some pretty cool looking shingle, like roof pitches to me. I think once there's a square smokestack on it, it's going to be tight looking.
And I think that smokestack should be coming off the side of one of the shingles, right? Not directly on the top.
For sure. Maybe use this guy. Square it up.
Kind of looks like some dog ears.
Yeah, I couldn't place what it was, like floppy dog ears.
Kind of like the rabbit when you don't put the ears on. Looks like a gopher until it all comes together.
Yeah, we're waiting for the smokestack here. That's all.
What's that going to be, black?
No, it's the clear one right on the heater.
Clear one where?
Right on the heater.
Oh, you're putting a clear one up top?
Yeah. Nice.
Oh, we had a runaway. Dun, dun, dun.
I got another one if you want it. Unless it looks big enough.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, kinda.
Or not.
But that's all we can do. Experimental show.
I've seen multiple smokestacks. You could put another one right on it, I could torch it.
All right.
What, I was yawning, sorry. Hot fire. We had Bangkok 96, this incredible Bangkok Taiwanese food for dinner here for the show.
Thanks.
Spin it. Maybe press down on it. That cat was skinned.
Yeah. All right, how about a green patty?
For the lawn,
Yep. And we'll slap it on the patty.
mini sculpture. Not a mini tree on it too.
Yep, that would be cool if we were
Well,
doing
we got
it.
time, I'll make the little tree. We got some green over here, don't we?
All right, I'm going to hop over to the question while they're arranging the next step. What is the one thing that you always bring to make your new place make it feel more like home? So when you move somewhere, you set it on the mantle and you're like, ah, now it feels like home. What is that thing? We were discussing at dinner. For some of us, it was plants. Others, like we said, common sense things like bringing your dog or your
What's
cat.
that then? The stem?
The tree.
You're gonna put it off of
Sometimes
this,
a special
or
blanket on your couch.
We could lay it next to it once we get it made.
yeah.
How are you guys doing bits and stuff?
What's that?
How are you going to bring bits? Or is it a lap gather? You have
I
two
think we're gonna
glass
lay the
floors.
stem on the side here,
And then build the tree off
and then
the
build the
piece?
tree off the piece.
How big of a tree you want? Like that tall?
Yeah. That looks great. And then if I leave that hanging off, I think by bringing just a green glob that we drop on there that I can cut up and snip into place.
Can. Or I can give you both of these, and we can work on both, and you can just flash that, and I can bring you a little bit, and you can put it on there and make the tree. What do you want to do? You want to do it your way?
Let's
Like
get
Burger
that on
King.
there first and see.
Do it your way. Have it your way.
Burger King?
Yeah, that's it.
I hate that jingle. You rule.
They must have fired that marketing firm when the king was just in his plastic mask, and they just showed him, like, all of a sudden the Uber would pull up and he'd look in the back seat and the king would just be there looking at him. And then that was the commercial. And it just kept doing it.
But it's like Captain Crunch.
All right.
Like, where do kings get this role in American culture?
Could be a fairy house.
Oh, it could be a fairy
I had no
house.
tool. My knuckle was hard enough.
I'll just take a nice grape size gather of green.
Really hot green.
Yeah.
You're probably going to do like 3 of them?
No,
Little-
just one on top. I imagine it being like a big puffball on top.
Like a palm tree or something, or like a...
Like a
Like
apple
one of his
or like a...
bonsai trees.
No, like the trees that go like this.
The pom-poms,
How
like
big?
the shrub.
Size
Yeah,
of a
like a
grape?
pom-pom shrub tree.
Yeah.
Like a grape size. Green grape.
I don't know, those steroidal grapes, I'm getting them like the size of an apple almost lately.
Yeah.
This is actually a really good thing. You got the furnace in the back, picture face, logo.
Woo! So what's up with that sculpture, Dad? You want to tell them about it? They were asking. Okay, I was just clearing the silence.
Your silence. All right, Bess, did the person ever ask the question? Someone on YouTube was going to ask a question? Okay.
Ooh, my itchy elbow is feeling great.
I knew you were waiting around for something.
On the sake of feeling the ecstasy of my itchy elbow burning.
Anybody got eczema out there? We've got eczema.
I think the whole world has it, the way the commercials on TV are.
Yeah, it's true.
Moringa. Does anyone take moringa? I was reading
I've
about
danced
that.
the moringa before. It's kind of like this.
I've played the moringa.
You have played it?
Yeah.
What's the moringa?
It's got a really nice tone.
It comes with the dance, Michelle.
And the mushroom that you eat?
And if you eat the moringa mushroom before you do the moringa dance, while you're playing the moringa instrument, you could get into trouble,
Watch
folks.
out.
Don't do the moringa experience.
Actually, I don't think moringa's a mushroom, but
When
it's
I
like
did
some
moringa,
natural something
when I
or
did
other.
moringa, I was down in Ecuador in a cave.
I feel like I'm doing the moringa to this house idea.
Morgan said this looks like it's from Dr. Seuss.
I was just going to say this is totally 100% like Whoville. When we did musical, whatever that was called.
Should I touch it to the body for security?
Yes. And I also want to differ to that whole thought process, guys. We're not in Whoville, we're in Jakeville.
Jake played Whoville.
This just came out of Jake's mind. It didn't come out of Dr. Seuss's mind.
yeah,
This
but
is
he
a
did
fun one.
Seussical musical when he was a kid. Maybe he's having a flashback to
I
a
don't
prop.
think so, because there was nothing like this in Seussical musical.
I will say I've been fighting the urge of experimental dissatisfaction.
I know, you hate this. You hate
It's really stressful for me sometimes, but on the other side, I was kind of enjoying it because there were so many different new techniques involved, and it is totally different than anything that I've ever made.
Yeah, how about my house face?
Yeah.
In the beginning, I was like ready to crush it on the ground, and all of a sudden it turned into a house face.
Pam said this would be cool on a garden stake.
It would, coming out of the bushes. Totally.
I'd much rather see it mounted on a nice piece of oak on a mantle next to an old school grandfather clock. Put it in the garden, the bird's gonna fly into it, hit it with its wing, and there goes $350 down the drain.
Would you give me a grassy knoll?
Yeah,
Everyone's got an opinion.
especially
Are,
us.
are birds flying regularly into garden blooms? Like, I don't know.
I don't know. The garden bloomers can tell us. I never had it happen. Although they have dropped a bird's landing special treat in a couple of mine before.
Well, that's fun.
See that aggression with the
Signed
stamp?
it.
Take that.
So the timing of this is going to be, I'm probably going to use the clappers to grab it, but there's going to need to be some reduction involved in this process. It's got gold all on the body and gold on the roof.
These are the annealer reveals.
Here, use this to grab it.
Yeah. Green? Okay. It's definitely got some motion. It's quite whimsical. I do like the tree.
Diamonds?
It's too quick to judge anything, you know?
I love it.
It's definitely totally unique, and I do love that it's got my brain going. I'll be
And
sleeping tonight thinking about
I
this.
know. I really think we should hang on to these. I know. The frowny face. 5 years from now, when someone shows it up and you're like, man, I wish I would have kept that.
We hang on to the live show.
Yeah, whatever.
Those are going to live forever, as will the piece. That's the beauty of when we sign all these pieces from the show. You guys know where you can watch it again.
So one day when they make a museum of the Glass Academy, they're going to say, where's all your stuff?
And there's customers out there that have enough product. Would you give me a little reduction? To pretty much, yeah, basically have a museum. And I think that's just pretty cool to think about. You know, products from various shows throughout the last 3 years, 4 years. There's
Anybody
our
see a
gold.
torch around here?
There's one right next to the puddle over there. Coming in.
That's really funny. Let me look everywhere for
I
the
don't think
torch,
it's hot
and it's
enough.
right there.
Quite yet. Go for it.
Nice. Oh!
The double stamp.
I think it's actually pretty darn good.
That one's worth more because it's got 2 stamps.
I'm going to grab it with the claw, Dad. Yeah, double stamp. Discount double stamp.
Nice.
All right. It turned out pretty cool on the puddle. I think it was pretty sweet. There's a lot to decompress there on that one.
Yeah, I think it turned out really nice. Looks good on the puddle. I like the windows, look cool.
I think the clear marinis is a really cool idea, and they looked really sweet. They looked awesome when they first went on there, like mosaic, like glass mosaics, but on hot glass. And then when they melted in and stretched, they look really cool. Different, but really cool too.
If you could have, maybe if you do another one, who knows, if you coated the outside with black and then did it, and then we nipped them up, when you push them together, you'd have that black line in the middle.
Right in between them.
So it looked like the window.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. The outside of the marini.
Yeah.
My mic is off.
Interesting.
All right,
some housekeeping.
let's do some housekeeping. First and foremost, I'm putting the picture up on the screen. of my little buddy in my cat house right now.
Oh, I'll have to look at it later.
So that is my little baby possum that's been hanging out in my cat house. My cats are not thrilled, but I wanted to show him to you guys because we had a possum debate earlier. All right, our question for last week.
Wait a second, Lucy had a photo too you'll share later?
Yes.
Did that work?
Yes, it did. So our question for last week was similar to tonight's show, meaning last week's show. If you could combine glass art with another art form like painting or music, what would you want to see? For example, art or glass art mixed with fabric or metal. We've had a lot of glass and metal recommendations, which was in the question. We had somebody say, I would like to see an array of different mediums all combined together. Stained glass with wood and metal using quilting patterns for inspiration. That's a fun one. Glass with wood, wood with pottery, pottery with glass. I always like the new and unique, and I like to see how the mediums combine together. Glass and canvas, more glass and metal. Let's see here. Our winner said combining pottery and glass art would be interesting to see. So, I had to hide it from myself because I always show it at the beginning.
I know. And Jessica didn't give us a survey until like the last minute. We almost didn't have this answer tonight.
Well, congratulations to Christine. So Christine, you win the Purple Puzzled Mind Vase. So this was a piece that was made from a bookmark that Michelle created, and then we made the giveaway based on that. So Jake is grabbing that right now to kind of show off. So he's going to show off the bookmark that you will get with this piece as well as the vase.
Very
Not
nice.
quite the same purple.
Close,
That's all right,
though.
though.
I mean,
it's
you know.
inspired. It's not copied.
I love
Right.
it.
Very nice.
Artistic inspiration.
I got to sign that bookmark, right? Flip it over. Yep.
All right. Our giveaway question this week, Jake, if you could read us off,
Let me get my microphone on.
that'd be great.
The giveaway question this week, what is one thing you always bring with you to a new place to make it feel more like home? What do you think, Bess?
So, first and foremost, send your answers to enews@glassacademy.com with
That's
your
right.
name and email.
That's right.
Two things come to mind for me. One, I mean, I've had to move a couple times because my first couple years here I was in different apartments, and I've been in a house for a couple years now, but I feel like any of my artwork or my pictures that I usually have on the walls, once I hang them, it feels like home. Also, don't laugh at me. I have a little stuffed monkey. He's like this big. His name is Noodles.
Noodles?
Noodles.
Nice.
I like that.
He
That's
Love that.
traveled to college with me. He has been to every apartment I've been in. He's in my house right now. It's just kind of like a little piece from home.
So your answer is noodles.
Noodle.
We might not have
Yes.
known if we didn't hear the backstory.
Yes. How about you?
Mine is slippers, for sure, my
Okay.
slippers. But it's a vague question, you know. We were debating before the show if it was a quick transfer, if it was moving permanently somewhere. But I will bring my slippers downtown when I go hang out at my buddy's house
Okay.
and bring them up 17 floors to pop those babies on.
So it's what makes you comfortable wherever you go.
Yeah, it makes me feel like
Okay.
I'm at someone's home, relaxing and invited and safe.
Very cool.
Yeah, that's true. Well, one of the questions that prompted me was all the wildfires, people losing their homes.
Right.
I had a friend recently in Florida who lost her home, and she said it took about 5 weeks to get over it because you lose everything.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, what makes the house a home? Those were my kind of questions with that.
Very cool. I got two pictures to show you guys. One, was it 1 year ago today?
2 years ago.
2 years ago today.
Who remembers this?
These are photos from when the
Did you see this, Jake?
Nordines and Michelle, so Michelle, Lucy, Jake, all went to the Pistons game to receive the $10,000 grant that we won.
That's right. Was
Because
that
you guys
last year?
helped us win
So
that.
I thought it was last year.
23.
There we are. We were just talking about it last night when I punched the mascot in the nose.
So there's the first picture. There's the second picture.
Looks like Lucy's taller than me.
Yeah. Pretty awesome. Did you show him the picture of your opossum?
I did. I showed them the possum.
Opossum? Possum?
Well, the full name's an opossum, but people just shorten it.
Kim Possible?
Yeah, there's
sure.
the check. Oh my gosh, that's so funny with the houses behind it. Right? We're doing houses, and look, that's just what Jake did. Ha ha ha! Look how that goes.
All right.
Yeah.
These look like diamonds. Sorry, Bess.
You're good. I was just going to say one more thing. We've got Valentine's classes coming up.
Ooh, yes.
If you're local or if you want to travel from not being local, you guys can sign up. We've got some amazing hearts that we revamped last year.
Yeah.
And I think, Donna, adding them up, there's only like 14 slots or something.
Yeah.
Limited edition.
Class.
We only do it so often.
With the sparkle glass.
With the sparkle glass,
So
just like on our amazing snails over here, which it looks like the majority of the sparklers are gone.
And if you can't come take a class, get ready for the show that's going to have a bunch of hearts.
I think even if it has nothing to do with houses, I've discovered something that I really love.
We were going to talk about this. What just happened?
Which looks like a bunch of little glass diamonds.
We could talk about that after the giveaway we make.
Well, we just did the giveaway.
You gave the giveaway. You're talking about making a giveaway.
So this is the giveaway we're making.
Yep.
So it looks like Chris has started with an iridescent gold terracotta chunk. And this will be the giveaway. We just mentioned the giveaway question. If you want to enter to win this piece, you send that answer to enews@glassacademy.com. And we don't know what's in store, but it's coming from Chris's house-themed brain here tonight. Let me get my first peek at these chats all night.
I'm going to need a bench blow, Jake.
All right, all right.
I do have that giveaway question up on the screen for you guys as well, so you can see what makes a new place feel like home to you. Send your answers to that email with your name in it, and you could win whatever this ends up being.
Blow. Keep going. Good.
Is this going to be a spaceship house?
Yeah. 4 really different designs of a house for the experimental show. It's pretty cool to switch things up like that. And it'll be nice having this planned as the last show of the month, because we'll really be able to kind of plan ahead and get in the mindset of experimentation. I didn't recognize or remember it was the house show until today. Chris got let know it was the house show today. And, you know, if I was laying in bed last night wondering,
how are we going to do this house show?
How are we going to do it?
I knew all along.
Oh, here he goes. Wow.
It is like the spaceship.
Yeah,
Star
that's what I was
Trek
just gonna say.
That's sweet. Those are so cool looking.
Little jewels.
They are little jewels. I want to do those in all the transparent
Jake,
colors.
give me a little bench blow.
Oh man, I'm on something now.
So if I understand this correctly, one idea can lead to another.
Good. All right, you want to start that foot up?
They're glistening so good.
Yep.
The foot, or you mean the roof?
The roof, please.
What color?
Black.
Does this look like enough to you?
Yeah.
All right, Oliver, if you're watching the show, we miss you.
Oliver did say he's coming into work tomorrow. He's going to make it. He's feeling a lot better after resting. That's great news.
Yeah, whatever this like virus thing was, it just...
It has gone around and is going around, and it's...
I'd love to have some tweezers. I'll have to grab them.
All over the place.
I've heard...
Can you hand me those tweezers, Shell?
I've heard it's an upgrade.
We're downloading some new software.
Yeah. Like, if you think of it that way, it makes it so much more tolerable.
It does kind of feel like that sometimes. When I come around and wake up the morning, I'm feeling better. I feel taller.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa.
We've got a few sparkle glass snails still available on the table, as well as some other really cool guys as well. I'm going to put that link in the comments one more time for you if you are just hopping on.
I'll be ready right after this one, Jake.
All right. Swap it up with you.
Nope, I got to just pinch this and I'll be ready. If you want to neck it, go for it real quick. But I'm going to need to sit down real fast here.
Okay.
Lucy is downloading all of our videos from Facebook, so we have them as assets.
That's it. It's all right.
So just because we're streaming this live show doesn't mean we have a
You
copy
gonna want
of
to
it.
drop now? Or wait a sec.
So she's been hard at work making downloads of all those, so when we edit them and Roland does
Heat
some
it up.
editing, he's got an original to work from.
You can blow it a little bit bigger. Well, yeah. Just bring it. Blow. Good.
Yeah.
Now it looks like a meringue top.
Totally. That'd be a sweet way to make a cupcake or some kind of pie. Oh yeah, the yurtification.
I follow a guy who lives in a yurt. He has 4 horses and he lives in a yurt, and it's fascinating.
Huh.
Because he like tans his own hides and eats wild carrots and shows you how to eat off the land.
That's hardcore.
It's super hardcore. It just makes me think of Indians. Like, there's so much we don't know.
Oh yeah. Many
It
ways
doesn't matter
of
because
life.
we have AI. No.
I know we've got a customer that watches us that lives on a boat.
I know, we
Yeah,
were
we were
talking about her
talking about that
earlier. She
earlier.
was
Yeah?
in the show. Sold her house and lives on a boat.
It's pretty cool.
A boat or a houseboat?
I think it's a house
It's a houseboat.
Any boat's a house if you live on it, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's a lot of different ways of living out there. A lot that we don't know. I'm getting the itch to go traveling again really soon. I got some amazing trips planned for this year, shorter trips, but 2026. I know I've mentioned Japan before, but whether it's Japan or anywhere else outside of America, I got to get out in the mountains and go.
It looks like an
Figure it
empanada
out.
now.
That is the empanada pincher.
Well, I really
Panada
love
pincher.
that sumo wrestler thing in Japan. I would have never thought to go to that.
Oh yeah,
Japan's still at the top of my list.
big
Yeah?
time.
Yep.
Maybe we'll do a Glass Academy Japan inspired.
Empanada?
Who wants to go with us?
It's like a yurt to me.
Well,
I'm making
you know
a
how-
yurt. Someone's
you know-
hungry over here thinking about empanadas.
You know how they pinch the empanadas and they have like that footprint on
Pierogies,
it?
Yes.
empanadas, whatever. They're not pinching an empanada here.
Can't believe you'd make that comparison.
I can't believe it.
I'm going to get that going now. I know how to do it.
Hey, Roland, if you're watching, you were going to make pasties for us. We're still going to hold out for those.
Can't quite see it from this angle, but it's really cool, the color change that comes from the tool touching the exact spot that he's touching as he's going around. And then by the time it comes all the way back around, it's been reheated from the inside out again.
Would
That
you-
just gave it the yurtification.
Would you bring me a clear bit for a smokestack?
Oh.
All right, we will get into DTAP after the show. Chris's new masterpiece.
Tonight is one of those nights that we're going to be sticking around after the show.
What, to watch the Red Wings?
No, charging up the furnace. The glass gets full and the glass gets empty, and seems to always be on Tuesdays are the fill-up days.
Yeah.
And the way we do that, slow and steady, we got a clay crucible in there. And if you overfill, if we try to put all, I mean, you never really get 200 pounds all the way down in the furnace, but say it was 150 pounds you needed to throw in there, that would be 3 bags of pre-melted glass. They're about this big. If we threw all 3
right?
of them, what's that?
50 pounds?
50 pounds a piece. Throw all that in there, and that cool core mass of that amount of glass being the vast majority of what was inside that furnace would cool down the crucible so quickly it would crack it and break the crucible holding the glass. So it's always a little bit tedious of a process filling back up the furnace because you got to throw a little bit in, wait for it to be perfectly smooth, a little bit more.
Now, some people like how you put coffee cups on top of the espresso machine. It preheats them. You could preheat the glass.
Yeah. Some people do preheat the glass. Some people wash the glass. Some people actually hose it down and then preheat it in 2 different preheating stations and then shovel it into the furnace. There's many different styles of doing things, and that's even more time consuming. But I think we talked about it the last show, which was, for me, I think it was 2 shows ago for sure, at least. But you can also get batch, which is the very raw actual material, the sand itself, and melt it down, and that takes even longer than doing it as a cullet form. But that's what we've got in store for us tonight after this beautiful house show. Start filling it up, give the shop a good clean.
A little yurt.
Look at that. That really came together. It's the ratio. I would have done it completely differently, the ratio of that much yurt top to yurt bottom.
It looks almost identical to Hagrid's house from Harry Potter.
Absolutely it does. Would that be considered a yurt, his house?
I mean, it's round.
Yeah.
We're going to do the GA on the bottom.
Okay. You guys, put a vote in the chat what your favorite piece to see being made tonight was. Not in a competitive way, but think about process, design, style of home, you know, color, anything you like, but give us some input on what you like seeing here tonight.
Jan says, when you refill the glass, is it in little pieces or one giant block you throw in?
I'll show you, Jan, or Michelle will show you. Depends on the manufacturer that you get it from, but it's certainly not one giant chunk because this is, you'll see the size is about as big as you can do it without the pieces seriously popping and cracking and popping out the furnace and hitting you in your eyeball.
I'm going to talk about that so after you guys walk away, turn the mics on.
All right. Yurt to box. Can't believe I just grabbed it with this.
All right, they're off to the annealer. Before Chris goes and talks about his piece, if we wanted pellets of glass, they would look like this. Don't like to do that. We had them in paper bags and we like that, but this company and with tariffs coming, that all changed. So we went back to buying the little pillows of glass. The first melt is done by a machine. And they come out in these little strips. Sometimes they break apart in their little cubes. So we take those and throw them in on a shovel into a ceramic crucible that looks like this. This is one of the old pots from the old furnace. It was the recycled one because it's blue and you can see how pitted it gets here and eventually it cracks. So there on the side is a crack and then the glass will start to leak through and then we know we need to change it. So that's the ceramic crucible. Can last anywhere from a couple months to a couple years depending on who manufactured, when it was manufactured, and I'm going to hand off to you guys.
Oh yeah.
And talk about that.
Over to this amazing zone. Chris has got some information about some of his personal work. Let's hear it.
Guys, here it comes. I'm working on some pieces for the gallery up in Ann Arbor. Everybody knows I have a gallery called Chris Nordine Studios Gallery, along with...
If you didn't know, now you know.
Is Chris's mic on?
Ann Arbor, downtown, right in Carytown. Now my mic's on.
Now your mic's on.
All right, guys. My mic's on now. If you don't know it, I've got a gallery in Ann Arbor called Chris Doherty Studios Gallery, and I'm always making one-of-a-kind pieces of sculpture. And I've got a show coming up at the Carytown Concert House, which is going to be coinciding with the normal gallery full of my work, and then the show 2 blocks away at the Carytown Concert House. And I'm doing a new body of work that has to do with the glass and cutting the glass in multiple pieces, and you get these beautiful little organic shapes that are very, very gorgeous. Check them out. And I've been cutting them. I've done them on wood, and this is a collaboration piece where I had my gallery manager paint that piece, and then I cut my glass pieces and let them burn the surface of the painting that she did. And now I'm going to mount all of these glass pieces on the surface of that board. And this is another one that I did here where I cut the pieces and I let them go onto the material and burn these beautiful marks into the surface. So it's almost a painterly-like gesture that happens with that. So this will end up being a canvas with the glass on it, and those are the shadows of the glass burned into the surface. It's a pretty cool process. Stay tuned for more information on that. If you want to go to my website, chrisnordinestudios.com, you can go on there and you look at the gallery. You can look at the interior design stuff, the big casino job I'm working on, all kinds of cool stuff. And get on my mailing list too. It pops up when you're on the website.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, so we just got that sweet yurt done, and now we're looking forward to ending the show. We're going to miss you guys, but we're looking forward to seeing you.
End of the show, we're going to miss you.
Yeah, end of the show, we're going to miss you.
It'll be a whole week.
Well, I'm trying to think of what that song is.
Can we
So long, farewell.
read the giveaway one more time?
The giveaway question?
Yes, please.
For the people.
For the people.
To win the yurt.
And you can see some of the final remaining snails as of this moment or the last time Best looked at the website. What is one thing you always bring with you to a new place to make it feel more like home?
So you're going to send your answers to enews@glassacademy.com. You can win the yurt.
You could win the yurt. How about that?
Any final words?
Final words?
Final words. Stay warm. Have an amazing week. Eat well. That's your strongest wealth, is your health.
Yeah.
We went to a folk music thing, and this guy, can I say what he said?
Yeah.
He got a piece of advice when he was 19 from some like folk singer who was famous, and the guy's like, number 1 is your health. Add a 0 behind if you own a house. Add another 0 if you have children. Add another 0 if you have land. You are a wealthy person. But if you lose your health, you got zeros.
You got nothing.
Yeah, you got nothing. So the guy said the whole band stopped smoking the next day. So like, take care of your health. You are number 1. Everything else comes behind.
You heard it here, folks. Some advice for the day. We appreciate you all. This has been The Gathering Point, and we will catch you guys next week for an incredible Valentine's theme show.
Have a great night.
Dun, dun.